understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got... I've been using this for probably like...
Angel Reese didn't leave the court this offseason. She changed the arena entirely. While the WNBA paused, she quietly turned fashion, beauty, and business into her most dominant stat line yet. The offseason is usually where the hype cools down, but for Angel Reese, the offseason has become something far more dangerous and deliberate. It is where she multiplies leverage, it is where she expands power, and it is where she proves that her influence does not depend on tip-off times or box scores. What looks like style on the surface is actually strategy underneath.
And it's body bucket and one for Angel. She can also get...
Angel Reese has always understood something many athletes learn too late. The league paycheck is only one lane, and often the smallest one. In 2025, her WNBA salary sat at $74,909. A number that shocks fans every time it is mentioned because it feels wildly disconnected from her visibility, her relevance, and her cultural weight. But guess what? That number has never defined her financial reality, and this offseason made that clearer than ever. Reese entered the offseason already operating like a CEO rather than a rookie forward. Her NIL valuation during college peaked near $1.8 million, powered by headline deals with Reebok and Reese's Puffs, partnerships that did more than pay checks. They positioned her as a brand with personality, voice, and aesthetic. That foundation is exactly what she is now building on, not abandoning.
Again, and one opportunity, Angel Reese. The way Chicago has responded.
The visual shift this offseason was immediate and intentional. When Angel Reese showed up courtside at an NBA game to support Orlando Magic center Wendell Carter Jr., she did not blend into the crowd. She arrived in a custom Y2K look by Sankara Zashatura that instantly dominated social timelines. But this was not about turning heads for attention. It was about signaling control. Fashion has become Reese's language of power, and she speaks it fluently. Hold on for what's coming next, because this is where the move gets surgical. Reese is no longer just wearing brands. She is investing in them.
Hey Vogue, it's Angel Reese here, and I want to show you guys today how I keep my skin flawless. First, we're going to do skincare because that's the most important thing, and then we'll get into my game day routine. I use this hydrating gentle cleanser, and I love this so much because it keeps...
Her decision to invest in skincare brand topicals marked a turning point. According to Business of Beauty, the brand closed a funding round with participation from Reese and Nigerian music star Rema, adding to over $20 million already raised since topicals launched in 2020. The terms were not disclosed, which only added intrigue. Quiet money is usually serious money. This was not a random celebrity check. Reese had been signaling interest long before the investment became public. In a Vogue Game Day beauty routine video in January 2025, she casually highlighted her use of topicals products, explaining how she applies them and why they fit her routine. At the time, it looked like influencer content. In hindsight, it looks like early alignment. That is how modern brand building works. Visibility first, equity second.
I learned these tips because one time I posted a skincare routine and they were like, you need to run it back, and they taught me like you need to do thin then thick, and then I could see the complete difference within my skin. So the last thing I use is my Cetaphil Aloe with...
Angel Reese understands that beauty, skincare, and fashion are not side hustles for women athletes. They are cultural gateways. Her audience is not just basketball fans. It is young women, style-forward consumers, and communities that see her as both aspirational and relatable. For a brand like Topicals, that reach is not supplemental. It is core. But guess what? Reese's off-season playbook does not stop at beauty. Her modeling resume has quietly become one of the strongest among active WNBA players. Walking for Victoria's Secret and appearing as a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model did more than elevate her profile. It placed her into global fashion ecosystems that rarely intersect with women's basketball at this level. Those rooms come with different conversations, different capital, and different opportunities. This is where old tea matters.
Okay, let's get into the makeup. So I'll take these off. This stuff, I'll wear this out by itself. It is a primer, but I'll literally wear it wherever. My first time...
Angel Reese has faced criticism for years for embracing fashion and confidence loudly. Detractors labeled her too focused on image, too online, or too flashy. What those critiques missed is that Reese was never choosing between basketball and branding. She was building both in parallel, knowing that longevity in women's sports often depends on off-court positioning just as much as on-court production. With the offseason simply made that dual strategy impossible to ignore. While league negotiations, strike rumors, and scheduling uncertainty dominated headlines, Reese sidestepped the chaos by leaning into what she controls: appearances, partnerships, investments, brand alignment. Instead of being dragged into every debate, she elevated above them. That silence was not avoidance, it was insulation. Reese's fashion choices this offseason have followed a clear pattern: nostalgic silhouettes, bold textures, and intentional callbacks to eras that resonate with Gen Z and millennial audiences. Y2K aesthetics are not accidental. They are algorithm-friendly, culturally relevant, and commercially powerful. Every look functions as content. Every appearance is a campaign. And unlike many athletes who outsource brand decisions, Reese is deeply involved. Designers, stylists, and collaborators have repeatedly noted her hands-on approach. She is not just the face. She is part of the creative direction. This level of control is rare, especially this early in a professional career. But the most shocking part is how seamlessly she has turned criticism into currency. When fans questioned her presence at NBA games, Reese did not explain herself. She showed up again, styled even sharper. When commentators tried to frame her relationships as distractions, she leaned into independence and ownership. When conversations about pay disparities resurfaced, her investment portfolio became the loudest rebuttal. Angel Reese is not waiting for the WNBA to catch up financially. She is building parallel wealth streams that make the league one pillar, not the entire structure. That matters in the current climate, with women's basketball experiencing explosive growth, but still uneven compensation. Players who diversify early gain leverage later. Reese's offseason moves position her not just as an athlete navigating the system, but as a stakeholder capable of influencing it. Let's first focus on smashing that subscribe button so y'all can have more recent tea on WNBA. And here's the part that rarely gets said out loud: brands are watching how she moves. Reese's ability to convert visibility into equity makes her especially attractive to companies looking for more than endorsements. They want partners, they want voices, they want cultural translators. Her mix of athletic credibility, fashion fluency, and business instinct is rare, even outside sports. This offseason also reframed her narrative within the league. Instead of being discussed solely as a rebound machine or a defensive presence, Reese is increasingly mentioned in conversations about modern athlete models. She is becoming a case study in how WNBA players can maximize influence during downtime, not just grind through it. That shift matters for the next generation. Young players watching Reese are learning that the offseason is not empty space. It is opportunity space. It is where empires quietly take shape. And the most dangerous thing about all of this? She is just getting started. Reese has years of playing ahead of her, but she is already thinking in decades. Investments compound, brand equity deepens, cultural relevance expands. By the time her on-court prime peaks, her off-court foundation may already be unshakable. This offseason was not a break, it was a blueprint. Angel Reese did not chase fashion for attention or business for headlines. She engineered a power play that turns every offseason into an advantage. And as the WNBA continues to evolve, players like her are showing exactly where the real leverage lives. So the question isn't whether Angel Reese can dominate on the court, it's whether the league is ready for the kind of power she's building off it. Let us know your views in the comments below.